Thank you.
Yes.
I rise to urge my colleagues to support my amendment, which would rescind the unobligated funds for a new FBI headquarters and return this funding to the Treasury to be appropriately applied to paying off our national debt. Our national debt has ballooned to more than $32.5 trillion, a figure exacerbated by the Biden administration's out-of-control spending. However, rather than make targeted cuts to significantly lower this tremendous burden for future generations, the Biden administration continues to cater to an increasingly weaponized FBI that regularly abuses the law, upholds the two-tiered system of justice, and unjustly violates Americans' freedoms. That's a strong statement. In recent years, numerous whistleblower reports have shed light on the FBI's illegal surveillance and targeted censorship of conservative Americans, and here are some examples. In May of last year, whistleblower information showed that the FBI's Counterterrorism Division labeled parents of school children who disagree with their local school board decisions with a threat tag. A threat tag. Concerned parents have the right to express their opinions at school board meetings, yet the FBI used counterterrorism resources to investigate Americans' First Amendment activity. Additionally, in July of last year, multiple whistleblowers raised concerns that the FBI has been manipulating and misrepresenting data by falsely classifying cases as, quote, domestic violent extremism to meet certain in-house quotas. This is flat out wrong. The Federal Bureau of Investigation should not be skewing data, misrepresenting the truth in order to push a political narrative and agenda. Earlier this year, on May the 18th, the House Judiciary Committee and Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government released a report detailing the extent of corruption and extreme abuse of power demonstrated by FBI leadership. For example, the FBI's Washington field office pressured a field office in Boston, Massachusetts, to open investigations on 138 individuals who traveled to Washington, D.C. to exercise their First Amendment rights with no specific indication that these people were involved in any way in criminal activity. The only basis for investigating these people was that they shared buses with two individuals who entered restricted areas that day. Rather than limiting the investigation to just two people who entered restricted areas, the Washington field office explicitly instructed the Boston field office to open investigations on all 140 individuals who attended the political rally, representing unnecessary and illegitimate overreach and chilling the First Amendment right to address grievances. Actions taken by the FBI against everyday Americans, like the ones described above, are deeply disturbing. However, this weaponization of the FBI is far more sinister and widespread. These reckless actions have also been taken against whistleblowers within the FBI, who chose to stand up to the agency's dangerous politicization and weaponization. In fact, whistleblower testimony has made it clear that the FBI rid itself of employees who dared to speak out against FBI leadership or to raise good faith concerns about FBI field operations. For example, Stephen Friend was suspended without pay after questioning the FBI's handling of domestic violence extremism and expressing concern about their tactics. Garrett O'Boyle was subject to FBI retaliation for making protected disclosures to Congress after expressing his concerns up his chain of command with no action being taken. Marcus Allen, a decorated Marine and former FBI staff operations specialist in the Charlotte field office, was suspended for forwarding open source articles to his colleagues. With reports like these coming out of the FBI, in addition to the FBI leadership refusing to comply with an oversight committee subpoena until they were threatened with contempt of Congress. You know what that subpoena was about? The subject, an FBI interview report, a Form FD 1023, that documented from a trusted FBI source information that alleged then Vice President Biden was involved in a criminal influence peddling scheme for $5 million with a foreign national. The FBI covered it up for years. Then we have the Durham report, where they say the FBI and DOJ failed to uphold their mission of strict fidelity to the law. That means they lied. Talk about a two-tiered system of justice, one for President Trump and a completely different one for President Biden. This is a politicized and weaponized FBI. The names have changed, but the conduct has not. And the FBI deserves a shiny new $3.5 billion headquarters? A building bigger than the Pentagon? No. Well, I'm thankful that this bill contains no new funding, and I thank the chairman for that. This is simply not enough. Actions have consequences, and we must claw back all previously allocated funds for the FBI headquarters in FSGG. After all, the only thing this agency listens to is funding. Rewarding the FBI's nefarious behavior is unacceptable, which is why this amendment rescinds the funding and applies it to reducing our national debt. I urge my colleagues to support my amendment, and thank you. I yield back.
Thank you.